Are you thinking about using Bobbie infant formula? Here's what you need to know. I'm Mallory, aka the Formula Mom, and this is Ask the Formula Mom, a new YouTube series powered by Bobbie to answer all your pressing formula questions. Today we're going to be covering how do you choose a formula? What do you look for in selecting a formula for your baby? And before we get into the nitty-gritty, there are some things that we need to discuss about the formula market as a whole. This will help frame the conversation. The first is this. All infant formulas sold in the US are required to meet the same FDA nutrient requirements. Additionally, all infant formulas sold in the US have a research basis to show that they promote appropriate growth and development in infants. Because this is the case, sometimes you'll hear people say, it doesn't matter what formula you choose, all of them are the same. And in one sense, again, they all meet the same nutrient requirements, but where they differ is what ingredients they use to source those nutrients. And with that, we can see a big difference across products and across brands in terms of what ingredients are used to provide carbohydrates or proteins, things like that. In this sense, all formulas are not the same. So what do you look for in your particular formula? First, we want to consider what your baby may need. Pay attention to if they have any specific medical conditions, intolerances, allergies, diagnoses, were they premature? Talk to your child's pediatrician as they can help advise you on what formula may be most appropriate for your infant. They are always going to know the specifics about your infant and their needs in a way that those of us on the internet cannot. Please defer to your pediatrician as you're going through this conversation. But in addition to what your baby may need, we also want to think through what's important to you as a parent. If we want to feel good about the formula we're feeding our babies, which is always the goal, finding a formula that aligns with your personal priorities and values is very important. So I want you to do the thought exercise of really thinking through what's important to me in a formula. For example, do you want a formula that is milk-based or plant-based? If you want a formula that's milk-based, do you prefer whole milk or skim milk or goat's milk? Do you want a formula that has DHA and at what level? Do you want a formula that's vegetarian or kosher or halal? Typically on the back of the can here, you'll see what certifications a formula has. That can tell you things like gluten-free, halal, non-GMO. Also organic certification is here as well. And that's another question. Is organic important to you? Bobbie is both USDA and EU certified organic, and for some parents, that's important. You also want to think through, are there ingredients that you want to have included, again, like DHA, or avoid, like palm oil or corn syrup? And then you also want to think about availability. Do you want a subscription service like Bobbie, or would you prefer something that you can get at your local grocery store? And then, of course, you want to think about your budget. Your budget is an important piece of the puzzle here. Some parents may be looking for a formula that is covered by the WIC program. Others are willing to move things around in the budget so that they can purchase the formula that they like best, regardless of how much it costs. All of these things are important to consider as you're thinking through your formula selection process. So again, all formulas offer the same nutrient guidelines, meet the same nutrient guidelines. The ingredients that your formula uses will differ product to product. You need to think through your baby's needs and talk to your pediatrician about what they recommend, but also think through your priorities and values. When we do all of these things, we can narrow down the huge number of formulas that are on the market to identify a couple that may be best for your baby and you, and that can give you a great place to start.